Hi, everybody, and welcome to a different kind of episode of Unfiltered. I'm Betsy Watson. I'm the comms director for CMAHC, and joining me today is our very own technical director, Dewey Case. Welcome, Dewey. Welcome to Unfiltered.
Hey, Betsy. Well, this is weird. Usually it's me on the other end, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining me today. I don't usually get to sit in the host seat. That's usually your role. But since we're talking all things AOAP, I felt like it was perfectly appropriate for us to put you in the hot seat to answer questions about what's going on, what are we going to do at the conference, and how's it going to go? So, why don't we kick off talking about some of our pre-conference events that we have going on?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked about that. We're really excited about our pre-cons. We've been doing this for a little bit now. The first one we have is our Aquatic Venue Public Health Inspector course. This is something we've been working on for a couple of years. It's a brand new course from the industry. We finally moved it out of the pilot phase. This will be the first really polished, everything's done. We got the videos, we got the content, we got everything looking pretty and set. So really, really excited about it. It's a full day. It's intended for those that are going to be inspecting pools, right? Generally, we look at it as health officials, but if you're anybody that has to go look at commercial facilities, it's going to be really a great course to get that insight on what are essential public health issues that you need to be looking at, right? Or even for operators, you just want more insight into the inspector process and what they're asking. It's great for operators too. It's a 5-year cert, which is even better.
So, those that attended last year when we were in Florida, they don't need to attend again because it's a 5-year certification, unless
Correct.
they're just really excited.
Yeah.
Um, and you want public health officials to attend and anyone that's kind of involved with inspecting pools. Is there any benefit of people that are like overseeing pool inspectors attending, or should it just be the people that are actually doing the inspections?
Oh no, yeah. Anybody involved, right? Whether you're in public health or private sector, the aquatic sector, even if you're overseeing those, it's really good, right? And the nice thing about it is there's only a handful of inspector courses that are available in the market. What makes our AVPHI unique is that we don't care about balance because that doesn't impact public health, right? There's lots of things that someone may look at as a general inspector, but it's not specific to public health, right? We're only focusing on these key essential elements. So yeah, even if you're just supervising inspectors, having this knowledge, because I guarantee you're going to learn something. Having this knowledge, having this information, having this perspective, and by the way, it's MAC compliant. It's based off the MAC, right? Um, that's going to be really key in helping your inspectors, your own personal inspections, even defending yourself against a poor inspection, right, from a facility standpoint. It's really, really good information.
Cool. So that is in the pre-conference sessions,
Yep.
and people can register for that online. Is there a cost for that event?
Yeah, I think that's $300. It's an AOAP special with our partnership with them. Normally that's 350. So if you're coming to the conference, you get a little bit of a discount for attending our class.
Do you get CEUs for that?
Yep, we give zero point 0.6 CEUs. We have worked a deal out with the National Environmental Health Association. They will NEHA. They'll accept our CEUs towards their registered sanitarian designation. Uh, we have just finalized an agreement with NRPA to where they'll accept our CEUs towards their AFO renewal, which is
Great.
exciting because there's so little content out there that serves that purpose, right? So
Yeah.
that's a real, and zero point 0.5 CEUs out of two, you get 25% of your required AFO CEUs just with this one course, which
Oh,
is
that's
which is
great.
huge. Yeah, it's huge.
Plus, I hear they get to hang out with you for the day.
Well, I don't know if that's a benefit or not. We'll see how that goes. I
It
guess that
depends on
depends
who
on
you
who you
ask.
talk to. But yeah, I mean, it's huge to have those CEU offerings. Now, your state licensures, you're going to have to submit it for that. But at least with the big nationals, we were really focusing on NEHA and NRPA. We have those, they're accepted. So that's really, really good news.
Cool. So that's one of two pre-con offerings. What's the other one?
Yeah, the other one is our safety plan workshop. We have one of our CMAC ambassadors, Jonathan Neese, with Councilman Hunsaker, that's running that this year. Mike Espino, another one of our ambassadors, has traditionally done it. He's retired, so he's enjoying traveling and camping and everything else.
Mhm.
So Jonathan is picking up his where he left off, right? Jonathan does a lot of really, really great work in the realm of safety plans. He's really just one of a handful of folks that really have this thing dialed down.
Mhm.
So we're glad to have him as an ambassador. We're glad to have him leading the workshop. That one's going to be fun. It's also, it's interesting, right? Because it's this esoteric, weird thing. When you talk about safety plans, it's kind of like, well, what in the heck are we talking about, right? And there's a lot of stress that comes along with it because it's a big, heavy lift for a lot of folks. And this workshop with Jonathan, when you walk out, it's going to be not as heavy of a lift, right? You're going to walk out feeling a lot better about your safety plan, about working towards it, right? You're not going to have a complete plan after it. That's not the
Mhm.
point. The point is getting you in a room with an expert who understands this, who's passionate about it, who can get you on the right road, right? And the cool thing is the safety plan workshop doesn't stop at AOAP. We're going to do a follow up in 30 days where we get everybody together that attended and check in on their safety plan progress. And guess what? 90 days after that, you can submit your safety plan to me and I'll review it as part of this workshop and give
A
feedback.
technical review?
Yeah,
What?
it's really great. Um, and so we've done it a couple of years now. It's generally a small group, right? We're not talking about 50, 60 people. You're not going to be lost in a sea of folks. There's a lot of stuff you got to bring. You need to bring a laptop, right? You need to bring your facility manual. You need to bring all your employee handbooks, right? Because we're working on this thing during the workshop. And it's really, really a great experience.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting and beneficial. And honestly, I love listening to Jonathan give
Yeah.
give talks. He's just so passionate and energetic, and he just has a little bit different perspective. Like I've heard you give talks and they're really good, and he is too, but just from different lenses. And I think
Yeah.
having different information is valuable. So I'm really excited about the pre-con workshops. I think those are cool, but let's talk about our environmental health people. Let's talk about after the conference is over. We'll get to the MAC track in a minute. That's important and long-winded. But as far as like things we need people to pre-register for, the environmental health meeting is in the post event, and it's its own thing. It's a little different than these other events. Do you want to talk a little bit about what environmental health is
Yeah.
and what that
So
meeting
we,
looks like?
yeah, absolutely. So we call this the ELF, right? So you can come and attend this and be a little ELF if you're a health official. It's free, right? It's the very last day of the conference. So AOAP ends around noon on that Thursday. I forget the exact date, but you can look at the calendar and see that, right? The ELF starts at 1 o'clock that afternoon, right? So it's the ultimate post-conference event. It's free for health officials. All you got to do is get there and let us know you're coming. That's it.
Mhm.
And what's cool is it is a true health official forum. Susan Wickman, our administrative director, she typically leads this up. She's got a passion for public health going back to her days with NSPF.
Mhm.
And this is her little passion project. And it's great. It's great because you get public health officials in a room face to face, not having to navigate around presentations on food and septic systems and sewage and vector-borne diseases, right? Or malaria or mosquitoes or tattoos. It's 4 hours of public health officials just talking with each other about pools and about their needs and their issues. What I love about it is it's kind of like Forrest Gump, right? Life's like a box of chocolates. The elf is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You never know what kind of weird thing someone's dealing with that we get to come together and talk. And I love, throwing out ideas. I love handling some of the more technical aspects of it, right? And filling in concepts. What I love even more is just hearing these public health folks talk with each other and talk about the problems they're having and brainstorm in real time. It's really, really great. And typically I get as much out of it as they do.
Yeah.
So if you're attending AOAP or if you're a reasonable travel in, right, get there, fly in, drive in, come on. We want to have you there. Um, we want to see everyone that can attend be there and really have these aquatic based public health conversations. And the nice thing about it too is it's a safe space, right? Doesn't matter if you're a brand new inspector. Doesn't matter if you've been inspecting 10 years and are like, what's DE, right? That doesn't matter. It's a safe place where these health officials that are there, all they care about is making public health better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great place to learn and gather and brainstorm and connect and be vulnerable to a certain extent in what you don't know and walk away really with a better understanding of this whole shooting match.
Yeah. One thing that is happening this year that is different than what we did last year for those who attended in Florida is Daryl Booth is going to join at the beginning of the meeting and do sort of a quick presentation and lead a conversation around AI and how AI is impacting environmental health. He did an amazing presentation that Susan caught wind of and wanted to have him come in and give kind of an overview of like how to demystify people using AI in this space and what's appropriate and what's not. And so he's going to kick us off with a little conversation about that. And then it'll open up the floor to like how to actually use it before we do the scenario planning. So I think there's like a huge value add this year. And that you're right, there's usually not a speaker in a PowerPoint presentation. There will be a brief one here to set the stage for our conversation. And then I think we'll go into a lot of the, new things that are happening, what people are seeing, and really that community building. Like, I think that when you're in public health, there's limited resources at times, and having that community and that camaraderie where you can, like you said, be vulnerable and really have conversations and share what's working and share what's not working. I know last year we had some very heated conversations around different apps and platforms that were doing home sharing of pools. And some regions hadn't even clocked what a danger it was yet, where others had already figured out how to regulate it. So just having that mutual conversation with each other is huge. And I think it's going to be really cool. So this is definitely one you have to pre-register for. You have to be in public health. You cannot be a vendor and be in the room. If you try, Susan will bounce you, guaranteed or your money back. I've seen it
Yep.
happen.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be a really cool forum for people just to get together and chat. So
And
Dewey, I know.
yeah, and just one other thing to add, right? So for anybody watching, if you can't come to the whole conference and you can only, as a health official, and you can only come to the ELF, come to the ELF.
Yeah.
Fly in that morning, fly out that night if you need to, right? But yeah, from California to Maine, y'all get here. It's going to be a wonderful experience there.
Yeah, last year it was so rich. I mean, it really was. Like the amount of information that was shared was really incredible. But if you are going to fly in or you're in Colorado and you're going to drive in, please register so we can make sure we have enough cookies and snacks for everybody because we want that too. And to make sure our room is appropriate because it tends to, fill up kind of quick. So definitely pre-register for that. And then let's
And
talk a little bit about
Susan
the
does the best snacks.
Susan does this, and she's going to be in her home court with this
Yeah.
because this is like her backyard. So she's literally a driving distance. I'm like, what's she going to make? It's going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Mac track. I know I don't really want to like read a laundry list of what all we have going on. People can find that in the the information below. I'm going to post everything with the links.
Yeah.
But I want to know from Dewey Case's perspective, what's your MVP? Pick your MVP for the Mac track.
It's hard because they're all really good. The ones I'm personally interested in is every year we do a panel discussion, right? We bring in industry experts. A lot of them are affiliated. There are ambassadors, right? With CMAC, there are volunteers, and a lot of times they're just the best brains out there, right? And we always tackle a topic, right? Whether it's training issues, whether it's operational issues. Uh, this year, we're tackling single lifeguard facilities as a panel
Okay.
discussion.
Ooh.
We're having Wes Long from Stargard Elite. We're having Lindsay Mondick from the YMCA. And we're having Craig Sears from Sears Pool Management Consultants. Those are our panelists this year. Um, really, really, really looking forward to that, right? Because if you've been under a rock, the fifth edition Mac that came out in December 24 um, is now requiring 2 lifeguards, right? Period, as a minimum. So that really challenges a lot of facilities that may be struggling financially. And I'm looking forward to this, right? Because we see how maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. We get to see an alternative. And I think that's going to be a really, really, really good conversation. Um,
One thing I want to talk about that'll be going on outside of the Mac track. So it's not like the Mac track will be going on. You'll find it in your programs of all the different specific conversations and talks that are happening. I think it's really important to pay attention to what makes sense for your facilities and your needs. But one of the things that we're going to be doing is a listening tour. And that's going to be happening outside of the room. It's not going to be listed in the program as like an official sanctioned thing, but can you talk a little bit about the work that Lindsay's doing around the listening tour and why it's so important that people come by?
Yeah, so what we've been doing over the last several months, we've had an ad hoc put together um, with the rise of legislation like Every Child a Swimmer and related legislation, which is excellent, right? Wholeheartedly support Every Child a Swimmer and what they're trying to do. We need an entire nation of swimmers, right? And it's shameful that with all of our resources, we have children that are growing up not learning to swim that go on to be a drowning statistic, right?
Mhm.
So with all of that work that Every Child a Swimmer is doing, and Casey McGovern and the Kent Foundation, the Horner Foundation, Team Horner rather, and all that support, right? We started getting questions from health officials. Well, how do we know what's a good program, right? How do we know what good training is? So we're answering that, right? We have started an ad hoc committee. It's not going to be perfect, right? Going to say that right off the bat. There's always going to be something you can say about it, but we have to start somewhere. So the work of the Qualified Swim Instructor Ad Hoc Committee is working to set minimum training standards for swim instructors, which does not exist. You have the industry, or have the entities that do this, like the Red Cross, the YMCA, Jeff Ellis Swimming. Some of the swim schools have their own curriculum, right? But there's not a universal industry-wide, this are the minimum components. So we've been working on developing that through our ad hoc committee, which Lindsay Mondick is the chair, Connie Harvey from the Red Cross is the vice chair. We've got participation from the U.S. Swim School Association. We've got some people that actually teach it to help keep us honest. We've got input from Swim Angelfish on teaching those differing abilities and neurodiversity, right? It really is a well-rounded group. So we're going to have a listening station at our booth on the exhibit floor on Wednesday at 1 p.m. from 1 to 2 p.m. Local time in Colorado Springs. And that's your opportunity to come by and ask us about it. Ask Lindsay, ask Connie. They'll both be there. Talk with them about the course of work. Find out what we're starting with, right? We're going to have a preview document there. It's not complete, it's not full, but we'll have a preview document that you can look at that says, hey, this is the path we're looking at going in, right? And you can give your very important feedback to this. The listening posts are a time-honored tradition with the MAC. We started doing these from the very beginning. I think the first listening post was at Ward Water Park Association way back when in 2011 or so, 2010, somewhere off from that. Um, so they're a time-honored tradition that we're continuing to do this because we need your feedback, right? We need not just our experts at high levels, but we need the folks that actually get in and teach, the ones that are actually training swim instructors to tell us, hey, this looks good. Hey, no, this is crap. Let's ball it up and throw it away, start over. Or don't forget about, or did you ever think about, right? We need that
Mhm.
kind of feedback.
Gotcha. Well, I think that AOAP is going to be very exciting.
Yep.
What else is there that you want to highlight before we sign off?
Oh, the another big thing that AOAP is doing, and we don't really have a hand in it, right? But the Aquatic Technician School, that's another really, really big thing, right? It's uh, it's broad based, right? So if you go to become an aquatic tech, you can go to trainings, right? Raypack has them, Hayward has them, Pentair has them. They're all intended around their particular products.
Mhm.
What's really cool about the aquatic tech school is that it's universal, right? We're not looking at a product. With the tech school, they're looking at how do you work on heaters, right?
Mhm.
How do you work on diagnosing electrical issues in pumps, right? How do you understand controllers and UV and all these things? And our very own Tom Fink, one of our board members, is also running a session on codes and regulations as part of the aquatic tech school. So I guess we do have a loose connection there, right?
Yeah.
That's really an amazing thing. I think we're in year number 3, and I just can't emphasize that enough because there's nothing like it that exists.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, I'm really excited to see everybody at AOAP. I know everyone's excited to see Dewey Case. He'll be at the booth on the floor for CMAC Some when he's not busy teaching. And yeah, it's going to be a really great couple of days. So if you have
Yeah.
any questions, you can reach out to cmac@cmac.org. We definitely will put all the links below for information for you to register in true unfiltered spirit. We're going to keep it short and reach out with any questions. We're excited to see everybody. All right, Dewey. Well, thanks so much for your time and have a good rest of your day. And we'll see you on the floor at AOAP.
Yep. Come see us, folks.